Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. I am super excited because I have in the studio with me today Dr. Nephetina Serrano. How are you, Dr. Serrano?
Hello, I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm doing even better now that you're on here and looking as beautiful as you are. So I'm looking forward to us having a great episode. Listen, everyone, make sure you grab your virtual seats. You should be kind of like rushing into the studio, hurrying up, getting in your seats, talking to your girlfriends or the neighbors near you and saying, we are here at the Kim Jacobs Show, live and ready to go. Tag your friends. Invite other people to be a part of today's experience. We're talking with Dr. Nephetina Serrano, Marriage CEOs 360. We're going to talk a lot more about that right when we come back. But make sure you tag your friends, your family, your coworkers, and give them the opportunity to learn how to be able to have a great marriage. So let's go on this journey as we kick today's episode off. I'm excited, actually. I'm excited about this. Am I the only one, or are other people equally excited? Somebody tag and type and say, I'm excited too. All right, let's get started. Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
All right, everyone. Yes, it's the Kim Jacobs Show. And Dr. Nephetina, you got a chance to share with your friends too?
Yes, I just shared it just now.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I am super excited. We have today Dr. Nephetina Serrano here, who is going to be talking with us about marriage. How important is marriage? We know that it is extremely important, and she's the CEO of Marriage. So we're going to be talking to her about that today. They are the co-founders. I say they because her and her husband, they run together in every aspect of life. The only reason he's not on right this second is because he wasn't able to be on during this particular time. But those two, inseparable. So when I say they, I'm talking about her and her husband, Richard Serrano. Okay. So when I say they, even in the bio, it's like their bios are together because they're together. Okay. So co-founders of Covenant Marriages, Inc., Covenant Rescue 911, and Covenant Marriages Institute. They are highly motivated and purpose-driven Christian couple who have been married for over 28 years with a combined Christian experience of more than 30 years. They attend the Mount Airy Church of God in Christ in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where they serve under Bishop J. Lewis Felton. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that. And where they have been members for over 27 years. Oh my goodness, under the leadership of Bishop Ernest C. Morris Sr. As life coaches, certified counselors, mentors, motivational speakers, and entrepreneurs, they have an outside the four walls ministry, and they work actively to help couples in transitional phases with their marriages and life, offering life-changing advice and guidance to deal with the challenges, incidents to achieving authentic oneness in marriage. They are the co-authors of multiple books: The Marriage Corporation, Corporate Strategies for Fulfilling God's Purpose in a Covenant Marriage, and also the book, The Marriage Corporation, as a book, it seeks to give guidance on the establishment of coherent family structure. How important is that? These are questions, guys, already just in their bio that you could be typing. So make sure you get your questions answered during this hour. It also highlights the organizational needs of a covenant marriage. These objectives of the book are predicated on the fact that a family unit requires some form of administrative structure. Administrative structure for it to function effectively, efficiently, and properly, the way God intended. Okay. She talks also about YMM Magazine, Your Marriage Matters. I'm not going to go into the details because I want to let her talk more about why your marriage matters, because there's some good stuff that's on this paper, but then that's going to take away from the whole story, right? So welcome, Dr. Nephetina Serrano. How are you?
I am doing good this morning. Thank you so much for having me on the show. You are amazing. Been watching you, and we've been on different things together. So I am super excited to be here with you this morning.
I am equally excited. So talk to us and tell us about yourself and what you do. Take us on a journey.
Yeah, so I'm Dr. Nephetina Serrano, the marriage CEO, and I do work alongside of my husband. We both work in ministry and in life together, and it is a pleasure to be alongside him in any venue or in any place. We are the relationship experts, and we support you to achieve balance and stability in both life and in business through biblical principles to build a more effective communication in your marriage and in life. So we're counselors, we're coaches. We coach both single and married couples and as individuals. We have a nonprofit called Covenant Rescue 911. It is a 24-hour hotline for couples and families in crisis, of which we're now campaigning to build a 72-hour overnight facility for a couple or family in crisis right now. So we're super excited about that campaign.
Oh my goodness. Now, how long have you all been married? And I know I read it in the bio, but sometimes the updates is, you've been longer than the marriage and all that stuff. So tell us the real deal.
That is true. So we are soon to be July 1st of this year, 33 years married.
Oh my goodness. Okay, y'all, let me make sure I show a picture over here of the husband and wife in that picture. Because I was like, oh my gosh, y'all are so handsome and beautiful. And you know how some couples look like they were meant to be together type of thing? Y'all.
That's my money.
It's so awesome. 33 years coming up in July. OMG. That's exciting times.
And he is the cream in my coffee, and he still manages to make me blush.
Okay. And darker complected a little bit. It takes a lot to get some blushing going, right? Now, what are some of the challenges and things that you've had to overcome as you've gone along this journey? Because many times when people are looking at a marriage, they're actually looking at it from a perspective of everything looks picture perfect, but it's not,
Absolutely not. And so, one of the things we pride ourselves in, and we try to make sure that we are very transparent, right? To the degree that people understand that we're people too. And even though you see us on social media and you see us, traveling the world and speaking and things of that nature, we go through life situations, circumstances, trials and tribulations, ups and downs, as Tamala Man says, just like everyone else. But one of the things that we find, having that spiritual foundation helps us to balance, right? To balance ourselves within the marriage. And so we understand that marriage is a corporation, right? You have God, who is the chairman of the board. My husband is the president, and I am the executive vice president. So we liken our marriage into a corporation, and that's why we wrote the book, The Marriage Corporation, understanding that everyone has a place within the marriage. And the way that we balance ourselves is through prayer, is through communication, weekly meetings, very important, people. Having those meetings, got to come to the conference table and have a conversation, right? So that you can be on one page. Oneness is, of course, it comes to that intimate part, but it's also about being body, mind, and soul, being able to have that open communication within one another. Because when you can't speak to your spouse candidly, that brings a whole shutdown within the relationship. And so for us, we try to be very candid and open and honest in how we communicate, so that it leaves nothing to wonder, or very little, if that's possible.
This is some good stuff already. Wow. Okay, let's go right away to some of the studio audience comments, because what happens is sometimes we're in the middle of the show and they made a comment at the beginning and it's like, Kim, that's the point that went with that That wasn't when I said that. So let's see what people are saying. Paula Farve says, "Hey, good morning, Queen." She's the Shea Butter Queen, and her name is Paula. It's a pleasure to have you on here. All right. Oh, she said this is fire already. This is some good stuff. She's watching. She said, "I'm watching everything that's going on today." All right. Make sure you guys tag your friends, family, coworkers. Give them the opportunity to learn about marriage and what it takes to be able to have a covenant relationship. Already, Dr. Serrano has made some good points saying that weekly meetings are important and making sure that you have an executive kind of order, meaning a CEO and then an executive vice president. What made you be willing to take the role of the executive vice president?
Listen, because I walk alongside my husband and I understand my position. And so sometimes within a marriage, we do things by default, right? There's different departments, just as there is in corporate America. You have the culinary department, which I am the head of course. Not always in every household, because I know some men can really okay, and that's all right. But my husband, he's the head of security. And, we both work together within our finances. So we had to learn. It wasn't an easy trial situation, let me tell you, because when, for me growing up, growing up in the church, I'm somewhat of a pre-K kid. And so being a preacher's kid, listen, you had to learn how to wear all the hats, especially as a female in the church, and so being, a jack of all trades and master of none doesn't really work. We need to master some of those areas for which we work within our home.
That's good.
Sometimes, we put the finances on our spouse, and they're not the ones that really best handle that. We are.
That's good.
So I did that, unfortunately, in the beginning. And my husband was like, well, I was like, what's going on? The account is overdrawn. He's like, well, you told me to pay the bill.
You're like, not when the money's not there, honey. You can't pay something. I
had to learn, that was one of those default things that I pushed on him that really wasn't his area of expertise, and he wasn't really comfortable with that. So we learned. So the Marriage Corporation was really birthed out of a conference that my husband and I were doing, a couples conference. And as we were up there in front of the audience and the congregation, and we were speaking, literally this book was birthed, like the words of the Marriage Corporation and working together came forth, and God just downloaded the rest of it. And it was really a vision that came through my husband, and I, again, helped him to birth it out, and we worked it together. So we love it. Because it is true. Without some organizational structure, you are bound to see failures along the way. And there's nothing wrong with failures, but some things we don't have to fail at, right?
That's
because
right.
There's other you and what you're doing and how you're helping us. And there's things that some people have gone through that we don't have to travel that road.
That's right. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's already worked. And they're giving you a blueprint. Let's rock and roll and use it,
Here you go.
I love it.
Corporation was birthed.
That's really great, Dr. Nephetina. As I'm hearing what you're saying, and for those that are just joining, we're talking with Dr. Nephetina Serrano, and she's the marriage CEO, along with her husband, Richard, who normally is like right glued beside her. He's just not able to be here today. But together they birthed Marriage CEO 360, Marriage CEOs with an S, because they're both CEOs in that regards, 360.com. And so I encourage you to invite your friends, your family, your coworkers to be a part of today's experience. Also ask your questions to this marriage CEO so that you can be able to better balance your own marriage. That's why I have her here today. Now, both of you are entrepreneurs. So how do you balance being an entrepreneur and your spouse is an entrepreneur and you're in different venues and veins of life? How do you balance that?
It takes, one of the things that we do is we make sure we copy each other on every appointment that we create, whether it's a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment. We put everything in our Google Calendar on our phone, and then we transfer that to our planners so that we can kind of double remind ourselves that it's there. Because I'm very visual, so just having it in an electronic for me doesn't always work. Like I need to be able to pick up the book and open it up. Oh, let me go back to my calendar. But the wonderful thing is that I put my husband on my agenda. right? Put your wife on your agenda. Make sure that if you book that luncheon with the guys, it's in there. She gets a copy of it, right? That's part of transparency in marriage too, guys. Because it's like, oh, my husband has a date, with his friends or with the pastor or what have you, whatever that is. He has a business obligation on this day. He's setting up, with his coquito business, another stream of income that we have now.
Okay.
And so we have to sometimes go in separate ways and do what we do, right? Because I have my women's ministry. He has his family business that he's running now and cultivating. And so it's very important. So that is one of the ways that we help to stay in balance with one another, is putting it on the schedule.
And copying each other on each other's calendars and agenda. That's a huge takeaway that she's saying. So make sure we'll put the comments in the actual comment section that Dr. Nephetina is saying as well. Copy your spouse on your calendar, on your schedule. So that way your spouse already knows exactly what you have going on, because they can see it. It's not a hidden agenda or here it is. Here's the I didn't left this off because I didn't want to let you see that one thing that I had a extra, whatever. What else is extra in marriage that your spouse can't know about?
Well, unless it's a surprise party or something highlighting them, then you don't want to put that on the calendar. But you want to you don't want to copy on that. But other than that, there should be nothing. One of the things my husband prides himself in is saying that we can lay our phones down anywhere. It doesn't matter, right? That's the type of openness that we want to have within our relationship, so that it leaves nothing to ponder or think about.
Okay, so I'll put that right here. So it'll be right here in the comment section. Copy your spouse on your schedule. There you go. Okay, and lots of other comments have been coming in. So let's see. Kenise, hey Kenise, she's on. She said, beautiful as usual. She's talking about you, of course, because I come on every day. She didn't type that comment until you came on. So she definitely talking about you. Okay. Hello, ladies. Kenise says, we love Kenise Itwaru. Okay. Dr. Yolanda Jerry says, yes, CC, copy on those appointments. Absolutely.
Awesome. Absolutely. Lady
Good morning, Kim and Dr. Serrano. And who else came on? I saw June Griffin on as well. Yeah, there you go. June, she said, good morning from Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, so you have people that are chiming in from around the country, just saying hello and shout outs to you. Okay, so there are marriages. I'm gonna give you a chance to think about this one, okay? So that we're going to take a commercial break because it's kind of like a loaded question. But marriages around the world are suffering, and families are finding it difficult in the current times with the pandemic to cope and to just simply get along. Especially, Dr. Serrano, with people being shut in and quarantined together. It's been a lot of things happening across the land. Some families have had their loved ones transition home. It's been a lot. It's just been a lot going on. What can you share with our audience today that can help them get through this challenging time? And I'll give you 30 seconds or so to think about it, so that I'm not just thrusting you on the spot here. But let me share this comment. Somebody says, I love that point Dr. Nephetina said about having your phones open and out.
Absolutely.
Why you gotta have your phone face down like this? Why your phone gotta be all on some kind of lockdown code that your spouse can? Girl, Kenise, we're gonna come back to that too. We're gonna come back. Y'all know y'all got lots of comments, and come on, flood them on in. All right, so let's take a quick commercial break. Today's episode is sponsored by Snow. Let me pull this up for you all so we can go ahead and I can share it at the same time. But today's episode is sponsored by Snow Legal, snowlegal.com. And when you reach out to them, make sure that you let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. They deal with all types of accidental situations, workman's comp, you name it. They're dealing with a lot of different accidents, especially like a bicycle or motorcycle accidents. It's all kinds of things that are happening across the land that if you just call and find out whether they cover that particular area, they'll be able to give you a consultation and a question answered for you. It's 704-358-0026. Again, 704-358-0026 is snowlegal.com. And make sure that you do let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. So let's take a look at their commercial now. We'll be right back.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or ride share, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, everyone. So we are back with Dr. Nephetina Serrano, and we're going to find out the answer as to what you think is the reason that so many couples are struggling during this very unforeseen time.
Yeah, this is an unprecedented time within our lifespan. Of course, even we have gotten a lot of phone calls, a lot of counseling sessions. Why? Because, listen, plain and simple, we haven't had to come face to face with each other and be in the same space on a 24-hour, 7 days a week basis, right?
Right.
And that cause some interference in the relationship. So I'm not really sure for some marriages and why some couples are actually having such a struggle. But one of those things is that transparency, right? So we understand that being transparent within the relationship and knowing your spouse's whereabouts, some couples are just not used to that. And they're not used to having to deal with the children on a 24-hour basis. That has become a challenge for them. And so one of the things that we have told people to do is, you know what? It's time for you to get clear about the man and the woman in the mirror. It's time for you to know who you are, right? Why you're showing up in this marriage and in this relationship. Have an understanding. And it's time to get back to the basics. So what are the basics? The basics are when families used to sit down and dine together and have a conversation at the dinner table. The basics are everyone's not in their room while you're in a pandemic on their phones and on their computer software doing their own thing. No, it's about coming together in a family room, in the living room, or whatever designated room you have, where you can openly talk about, what's going on, what's happening with you, because that's part of the issue is that we don't take time out to have time out with each other. And couples were faced with the realization that, wow, I really don't even like him. Like, man, she really works my nerves.
Right.
Face to face with that and not having a mediator, a counselor, a coach, or mentor to help you through that process of regaining or re-getting. Listen, you have to get to know one another all over again. Absolutely. And that's really what's happening in a lot of households. And some people are not able to take it because they've been faking it.
Wow. And that's interesting too, because depending upon the relationship that you're in, you don't even know that you're getting or being faked or faking it. If you're faking it, but you don't know if you're being faked out. You'd be like, what happened? And that happens in life, right? That you don't even know that you've been getting okie doked. And so what do you do in those kind of situations?
The thing about it is, really, Kim, is this. We need to take time out to there needs to be a rebirthing. There needs to be a getting to know each other again. Because I think we have to remember when, right? Mm-hmm. If we can do a reflection upon remembering when it was good, what made it good? When we had that dating period, what drew me to you? Right. Because sometimes, they say how you get them is how you keep them. I don't know if that goes the transition of the journey, the totality of the journey of the relationship, because people evolve. That's where you down here, you better hope it's not where I am today.
That's right. You're like a whole different person and hopefully better than where you were from your younger years, wiser, different things. But that's the thing.
Yeah, one of the things is that we have to learn to, our husbands help to cultivate us. And so for me, one of the things my husbands say, and I'll just throw in one of his things is, men are cultivators. They take what they're given and they make it better, right? If your wife is not giving you what you want, you better check what you're giving her. Because
That's what
right.
Pastor Jacobs used to always say. He'd be like, well, I'm gonna tell you right now, if the woman is only given what you've incubated or something. So it's like the man is the incubator, and whatever
Yes.
you have actually put into the microwave or put into the situation, that's what's gonna come out in your spouse.
Yes.
So look back and see, why is the spouse not in compliance, or why is the spouse not doing what you want them to do? It's because of what you're dishing out to that person, is what he always shared.
And that can be very, very true. And what I know, my husband, he prides himself on, Miles Monroe has been his private mentor.
Yes, he's everybody's private mentor, right?
That quote I believe, came from Miles Monroe, but it's very true. It's very true in a natural sense. And then in everyday life, we have to watch what we're giving, what someone is giving us, because it could be very well reciprocal of what we're giving them. And so sometimes we just got to check ourselves, our motives,
That's interesting. Well, actually, your husband made a comment here, so I want to put that up. He said, don't look at your spouse complaint as a complaint. They are trying to tell you what the problem is.
And that's good right there.
You would say that just because that's your man. Tell me something. That's good right there. There's all kind of comments coming on here, and that's good right there. That one right there.
Yeah, I was looking there for my baby.
That's funny. So Zakia says, and she actually just came out with a new book as well. Is she joining me tonight, Shannon? Oh, okay. Oh, man. Okay, Zakia, I guess I'll ask you on the spot. I was inviting you to be my guest this evening at 6:00 p.m. on Clubhouse. And so if you could type yes that you'd be my guest, I'd like to know that, because I've given Shannon so many assignments. She probably like, I didn't get a chance to do that yet. But I know that you went live today talking about your new book, The 1%. And I would love for you to be my guest on Clubhouse this evening at 6 for us to be able to deep dive into your book a little more. So let me know. I'm kind of putting you on the spot now. Okay, let's see. She said, absolutely, yay. So I can announce to everyone that this evening at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be on Clubhouse, Zakia Mabry and myself, and I'm going to be interviewing her about her book, The 1%. So make sure you all, if you haven't followed me on Clubhouse, it's at Kim Jacobs, and Zakia Mabry will be my guest. Okay. So Kanice says, hey, they took a Sunday afternoon time out to drive from Philly to my house in Long Island, New York. That couple right there, the Serranos, they don't play. I know that's how Kanice said it too. That couple, they don't play.
Well, listen, this is the deal. When we take those rides, what we've started doing is allowing our audience to journey with us. And so we'll go live on some of our rides when we're taking them, because we think that a lot of times couples don't get out. And if they can catch us journeying and seeing what it's like to interact, to work together, it doesn't always have to be that planned dinner out for two. I mean, listen, our date night consists of, honey, a drive to, New York City. And we loved it because we get to talk, we communicate. We do a lot of our brainstorming and vision boarding in the car, because we used to share so many hours on the road, and we learned to make the road our friend.
Yeah.
So now that's kind of what we do. And so whenever we're taking rides to the shore or rides to the city, the big city, of course, the Apple of New York, we make sure that we take our books with us. We talk on the ride, we conversate, we actually have our conference discussions in our car. And then sometimes we just play music and just enjoy each other's company on old school. Y'all know about that.
Yeah, I know. He's like this, just in the car being silly.
And just have a good old time. And that becomes our date. And so, just be creative within the relationship. you know?
I love it. I love it. And actually, that's what Khadijah says. I love Doctors Nefertina and Dr. Richard Serrano. They take out time to have time out together.
Yeah.
Yes, my queen. Oh,
Yeah.
this is Rich again. And Dr. Richard Serrano. He gonna get on here. He like, I don't care where I am. I'm on here supporting my baby. Yes, my queen.
Yes. And
Great topic, Dr. Nefertina and Kim Jacobs. Back to the basics. I'm so glad I'm single during these times. Khadijah said, laugh out loud. Okay.
You know what? The point that she's making, though, because in your singleness, ladies and gentlemen, for those that I'll call them ladies in waiting or couple, singles in waiting, right. You're waiting for God to introduce you to that person. And guess what? While you're in the wait, there's something that we say is stop, look, and listen. Stop, look, and listen. I have to teach that one day. We have to come back to that one.
Yeah, but that's good. Stop, look, and listen. I can already feel in the blinks.
We gotta stop, right? Because we're constantly, what are we searching for? Sometimes we gotta stop. We gotta look to the hills, right? From whence cometh the help, because we're so busy being busy and moving. And that doesn't mean that you're not accomplishing things. Don't get me wrong. Right. You can be being busy, accomplishing great things. But even in that, we need to take a moment and stop so we can hear, right? Because if we're being led by the Father, we need to hear from him first in order to know what direction he wants us to go. And then we have to listen. It's not enough just that you're hearing us today, but if you're not listening, if you're not paying attention and understand, then what is it all for?
That's
right?
Interesting. Now, and Dr. Nefertina, you're making such profound points. And as I'm hearing you, I know so many women that I actually could even just name personally that I know that they believe in the word of God, that they are submissive to their spouses, that they do God's will when it comes to their marriages, according to what the Bible is laying out before them. And then they still get some kind of surprises and things that surface that is like, that's not God's will. And God can't expect that to be the will for that person's life.
That's right.
Any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. So, there are things that come and enter into the marriage that we didn't anticipate. We weren't looking for. It was like I was minding my own business, and here this comes in my face. Why you sucker punching me? What did I do? Okay. And it's across the board. It's both men and women. Right. And it's a big I word called infidelity. And infidelity is not just two people coming together. It's also, the Facebook lover, okay, the secret messenger. You up at night thinking somebody, thinking you handling business, and you in the secret room somewhere. So we're dealing with that too. And so understandably and understanding that. That's not
before you go on, because this is I have to put you over here because you did this with your facial expression. So do the messenger thing, because the way you did that was priceless. You were like, you over there in that secret. What did you? I can't even read that.
In the room, doing your thing in the room that you should not be in. Okay, bring it back to the bedroom, the undefiled room. Okay, so. So we have those things going on in the world, and it's been happening, and it's still happening. And how do we bring that in? How do we wake up and rise up from that? It takes a lot. It doesn't mean that it has to be the end of a thing, but it definitely means that there is some miscommunication and lack thereof that needs to happen and take place, and so that we can get to come to an understanding of, listen, this is not God's will. Absolutely not. That wasn't part of the plan. You done deviated, honey. You done went on that wide and narrow. That wide. You know where that wide place leads you to? Nowhere but destruction. So we want to get back.
You're funny.
We want to get back on straight and narrow, okay? The one is going to lead us to some happiness and some success within our marriage corporation, because we understand that these things do happen. Listen, one of the things, and I'm not going to dive into it, but I want to tell you, beguilement is as witchcraft. Okay, we could talk about that on another show, but we need to understand there are some things that is attached to that thing. And so it doesn't just happen. No, it comes like a thief in the night. But let me just tell you, it was coming for a while. It didn't just happenstance. Wow. So those are one of the things we can talk about a little bit later. But yeah, we got to rise up from that because we can. And there can be, you know, there's a song that says there can be victory after this. Yeah. I don't remember who sings it, but let me just tell you, there can be victory after this. And I'm here to tell you from a real personal standpoint. Now I'm going to be a little transparent. It can be better than it ever was. Trust me, I know.
Wow. I am appreciating your transparency. I'm appreciating your conversation. I feel like I'm just sitting over there in that office with you. I'm just in a different color chair and we're chatting, and I'm really enjoying today's episode. Listen, if you are enjoying today's episode as well, make sure that you invite someone else to be in the virtual studio audience with you. We're going to take another commercial break and come right back with Dr. Nephetina Serrano, and she's the one half of the other half of the Serrano clan, which is Dr. Richard Serrano. He's just in the studio audience. So he's sitting out, you know how you say, so everyone, let me let you know that this is her husband, Dr. Richard Serrano. He's right there in the studio audience. And at this point, he would stand up and be like, hey, everybody, that's my boo, that's my bae. Okay, all of that. So, okay, I'm over here in my own world, having my own imaginary adventure here, okay? So make sure you guys tag your friends and invite them to be a part of today's broadcast. Let's see, today's episode is also sponsored by Hunter Everidge Law Firm. Now, they focus primarily on workers' compensation. If you have like loss of a loved one that may have died in some way that's not due to their own cause, any kind of situation with Social Security and disability benefits, you definitely want to reach out to them. Their phone number is 704-377-9157. Again, 704-377-9157. They are in the Charlotte and the Richmond area. So let's learn more about Hunter Everidge Law Firm. And make sure that when you do reach out to them, that you let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you in their direction. Some of the clients that have gone there and also that have gone to Attorney Kenneth Snow's office have been very delighted with the services that they've had. So we've had some rave reviews where people have come back and said, I had a really wonderful experience. So make sure that you say that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter Everidge, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on, and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
All right, welcome back to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. And let me let you also know that on the 19th, we're going to be having Attorney Everidge actually here on the Kim Jacobs Show, and he will be sharing a kind of some details. If you've ever had a situation where you've lost a loved one, he's going to be answering some questions. So go ahead and start getting your questions ready for the 19th. He'll be here for 15 minutes of that particular programming on that day. And so here's this. All right. Okay, so Dr. Nephetina, let's go ahead and continue on with our conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we were just talking about, some of those infidelity and moments that we should rise up from. But I think I kind of put it out there. I gave you guys something to think about. It definitely doesn't have to be the end of end all, right? Sometimes it happens to happen that way. But, understandably, one thing my husband said at a conference that we did, it was called Love Wins. And one of the things I remember him saying, and I'll never forget this because I didn't remember it in his notes, but he said sometimes some people don't recover from a divorce, from that separation. And so it's before you think about the D word, before you inject that or use that as a way of escape because of the hurt and the pain, definitely seek some wise counsel. Definitely seek a mentor. Definitely seek God. Definitely take a moment, right? Even if that's why we want to build this 72-hour overnight facility. It's just 3 days. 3 days. A lot can happen in 3 days, right?
Yes.
We want them to have a place like an oasis where they come and they have their own suite and they can think and they can reflect. Because we try not to look back, right? I don't think God wanted us to look back, go back, think back. And so we try we use it as a reflection. Reflect upon things so that you can find perspective and balance and what is really happening. Yeah.
That's good. A 72-hour oasis retreat for marriages to be able to be restored and revitalized.
Absolutely.
Finished. That's some good stuff. That's really good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I have here that you speak to women nationally and internationally. You and your husband have so many things that you do as it relates to marriage, family, and relationship. What are some of the additional things that you do? I know you talked about the 72-hour retreat. You talked a little bit about the Rescue 911, but talk to us some more about some of the things that you do to help these marriages.
Yes, of course. So as I said, we're life coaches. We coach, we mentor. I believe mentor is, it's always listed last, but for me, mentorship is like really a number one thing, because I've had some great mentors. I have great mentors in my life, and mentors and coaches aren't necessarily the same people either. So they can be different people. And so I think mentorship is very high on our list. So we mentor couples, and really we liken ourselves as midwives to couples, right? We alongside you in this journey. We take you from that beginning seed all the way through, and we'll stand with you. We'll walk with you. We'll cry with you. We will be there for the duration, for as long as you would have us. So we liken ourselves to midwives for couples, and we have a marriage magazine. It is Marriage CEO magazine. Whoop, whoop.
And how do people get a copy of that?
You can go right to our website. So right at the Marriage CEOs 360, you can go on the website and order it, or it is available on Amazon.com. Yes, it is.
So go to Marriage CEOs. Make sure you put the S. Marriage CEOs 360.com to get your copy of the Marriage Magazine. You can also go to Amazon and get your copy. That is incredible. So you are full service over there.
We are. My husband is also, running a new business. It is Serrano's Coquito. It is, if anyone knows what coquito is, it is a Spanish drink as a delicacy. And it's normally served at holiday times, kind of like how eggnog is for us. Okay. But we serve it all year round. It is a wonderful, it has a wonderful flavor and savor to it. But so my husband's kind of running that. It was passed down to him, and he's taking it to a new level. You say, up leveling? Well, we've up leveled, honey.
That's awesome.
Stream of income for us. And of course, we do our counseling, we do our conferences, and we speak individually as well as together. So we don't just speak to couples, we also speak individually. I have Destined to Live. It is a women's conference that we do every year. It is Women of Destiny. And we have the acronym LIV, which is Live in Victory. And so we do a once a year conference. That conference is geared toward leaders, because my husband and I are called to leaders. We're called to those behind the pulpit as well as those behind the podium. So we go corporate to the church house, okay? And we support couples and marriages, because we know that being a leader takes a lot. To whom much is given, much more is required. Yes. And so we understand that, and we understand that it's not an easy task when you are a leader and everyone's looking at your life, right? Yeah, I was there. I worked for our bishop, Bishop Ernest C. Morris. You know, you get to be in behind the closed doors. You see things. You understand that they need prayer like they're praying for you. Pray
You
for
better
them.
believe it. You better believe it. And I wonder, from your perspective, how can leaders really manage their marriages effectively and authentically whenever everyone's watching, and you're saying you're one way, but then it's other things that's kind of showing some different little signs that maybe you're not that way after all.
Okay.
What do you say?
I taught a lesson on From Beyond the Mask. From Beyond the Mask. And I think I'm going to bring that back in our Rise Up series this year. Yeah, we did. We start our Rise Up. That's another thing that we're doing. It started out as a series, but it's really a movement. It's Rise Up Together, We Win. And so it's not just for couples, it's for everyone. But it's talking about rising up out of the ashes, right?
Yes.
And understanding your place, your purpose, and your destiny. And how do you do that? You got to get clear with who you are. It goes right back to the man or the woman in the mirror and being clear on why you were purposed in this world. But I think, that Rise Up series is very, very important. We're going to be coming back with that at the end of this month, and it'll run through September. Because we found that, September is it starts the fourth quarter, and our fourth quarter is very busy with counseling and coaching, because we find that families go through a lot in the fourth quarter. That's when the enemy really throws it on thick, on what you have, what you don't have, where you are, where you're not, and where you want to be. And that's why we always begin the year with a vision board, redefining your marriage. Is a couple vision. Why a vision board? Even if you did a vision planner, a vision board, it doesn't matter. But it's about writing the vision and making it plain.
Yes, because I'm big on that.
Well, where you start is not where you finish.
That's right. That's right.
So we make sure that we're redefining things along that journey.
Good.
So that we're not losing one another within that process. We're staying together and we're sticking closer to each other throughout the process. That's what will help you. As a leader, it will help you to make sure that you are redefining. Make sure that you're taking those little trips. Make sure that you're doing self-care, self-love, and self-inventory. Yes. Because if you don't love you, there is no way you can love someone else.
That's right. I know over the years, God has used couples, and he definitely has used us as well to be able to help other marriages be saved along this journey. So I'm like, Lord, how can you use different couples to minister and help save other marriages, right? But then you look around and you're like, well, these same particular leaders, how do they not be able to save their own marriages, So I'm trying to figure out, and I'm learning this process myself, how is it that, and I think it kind of goes back to like when my son passed away, is just something that came to my mind. I knew I had witnessed so many miracles that had happened in life. Yeah. I've watched so many people literally being shot point blank 12 times, come walking back down the church aisle. But then in that particular instance, I'm just using an example. In that instance, my son didn't get to come back home. And so I said, well, God, you were still able, even if you chose not to allow that to happen for whatever the reason. So I wonder for how that equates to marriages in some regards, that you can see that all the miracles, all the wonders, all the joys and all of the things, but then it's like, I know that that's God's will for that marriage to succeed, to work. So how does that work in those situations where those leaders are helping so many other marriages sustain and their marriage is not sustained?
Yeah, it's an understanding. It's an understanding, Sister Kim. When we understand that we are not alone. We're not alone. That's and there was a moment in life, a moment in time when I literally said to God, you didn't love me enough. I said that to him, and my brokenness and my hurt and my pain that I was going through in that moment. That was what I felt. Well, it took about 3 weeks later, and I'm sitting in church near the front row. In our congregation, we have a fairly large congregation of, more than 3,000 members and probably 1,500 on any given Sunday. And during that time, of course, not in COVID, but, we preach to the whole community now.
Right.
I'm sitting there, and the word of God came from the man of God, and it said, "I love you more than enough." He answered me like right there in a service. Like, I'm looking around like,
you talking to me?
Like, you're gonna answer me right here so I can
put me on the spot.
Do the ugly cry. I fell out doing the ugly cry. Nobody knew what the heck was wrong with me. I knew that God had answered me that day. And he said, "I love you more than enough." And because of that, I was able to rise up out of my pain, rise up out of my circumstance. And I was that woman, I was that person that was walking down that center aisle with victory in my hands, because I knew I was going to get through this moment and it was going to be okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know when, I didn't know when, but I knew that God loved me more than enough, and it was going to be all right, because he had never failed me yet, but I felt defeated in that circumstance.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to sharing more about, our personal story, because we've had loss. We've lost houses. We've lost cars. We've lost jobs. Come on. We have suffered. Yes. In order to be in the place that we are in, there was a process that we had to go through. If you're not willing to go through the process, honey, you're not going to see the promise.
That's right.
It is part of the prerequisite of you making it in.
I love it. Yes, is what Kenise said, and I agree wholeheartedly. Those comments are just so true. And that's across the board with life. I know that God does anything that God does, he's working it out for my good, some kind of way. And he's got my best interest at heart, always. So from A to Z. So I never doubt God in any regard, because I believe that for some reason, he allows certain things to happen that I may not know what the reason is, but he knows, So let's see what some of the other comments are. Miss Christ says, yay. Okay. Lady Justine Hilliard said, "We must be mindful of how we treat each other and continue to show respect for one another, as well as forgive each other on a daily basis." Yes. Right. Together. Yeah. All of this, he talking to his boo. He said, "Together we win." He's trying to get some brownie points, I think.
I'm saying.
He's like, "We're gonna drink one of those Syrah. What is that thing called? What is it?
Coquito. We're gonna have some
those. You're gonna drink one of those today, together." Amen. You preaching. Yes, together we win. Let's see. Allison Skeets here. She said, "Nice. Individual and togetherness have to be balanced in a relationship." Yes. And Allison also said, "Mentoring makes a big difference indeed. We have small groups of couples who meet quarterly to encourage and help each other together."
That is awesome.
Yes, it is real, but love conquers all. All right.
Yes.
Yay, Nephetina Serrano. You looking good, ladies. All right.
Thank you, guys.
So everyone, listen, we're talking with Dr. Nephetina Serrano today as a marriage CEO. Let me make sure. Oh, you're a 3-time Amazon best-selling author. How does it feel? And what are you working on now and upcoming? Tell us about some of your other book projects.
I am super excited. That wonderful woman called Kenise Serrano, we're just loving This Is How I Fight My Battles. This book right here, you want to get that one too. Yes.
Yes, Dr. Nephetina is an author in this book. She's one of the collaborating authors, so make sure you get a copy from her at marriageCEOs360.com. Okay, go ahead.
So I love it. Have worked on some wonderful projects with Jessica, Ms. CEO, yes, Dr. Jessica Mosley, and love being a part of, that. I am super excited today just to be working on my new project, which is an anthology. It is called Rise Up, Women Who Lead, Building Legacy. Rise Up, Women Who Lead, Building Legacy. And we are working on that. Yes, another co-author. I'm super excited. This book was truly birthed out of an understanding. God just spoke to me, and when I was going through, you were talking about the loss of your son, and I lost my brother, and it was this time last year, that he went on to be with the Lord. And so even now, I mean, today my mom posted something, and I'm just like, wow, words cannot even begin to equate to the love I had for that young man and have for him. And all I can say is working on this book anthology has been wonderful for me. It's leaders from around the world. We have Princess Aguilana, a part of this book. We have women from the UK, from Brazil, from Puerto Rico, from Thailand. We have Ghana. Yes, our Ghanaian women. Shout out to Cadiz. We have some amazing women have chosen from around the globe, Nigeria and Kenya. We also have Trinidad, yes.
Wow.
And of course, the US of A, honey. So I am truly elated to have been challenged, to have been put to the test, to pull these women together and do this book. I mean, and then from the US, women such as Robbie Motter.
Right.
He's a part of this project. Tracy Shy Simmons, who just birthed out her wonderful new, listen, if you haven't seen a digital magazine such as this, that lady is coming on the scene. She's been around, but let me tell you, God is just opening up doors, and I'm super excited for her. But those are some of the projects that my husband and I are working on. Again, we have our Rise Up series. Look out, get ready, get ready, get ready. Yes, rise up, honey, because from the ashes you rise, from trials to triumph, we're going to go forth this summer all the way through the fall. And we're going to have our Rise Up series, and we're looking for you and you and you and you to come and join us and be a part of that series.
I am so excited about everything that you have going on, and I'm excited about your marriage. I'm excited about where you're going in your future together as you're taking these road trips and just helping so many other marriages be able to sustain and maintain and even grow further in their marriages. Listen, I want to make sure we talk too about Rescue 911 just a little bit more, because I know that's a 501c3. So talk to us a little bit more about Rescue 911.
Covenant Rescue 911. This is our current baby, honey, that we are just moving forward. This train is moving. And it is a 24-hour hotline for couples and families in crisis. We are here to support you. We are here to walk alongside you. You do not have to suffer in silence or behind the closed doors, because we understand there is hurt sometimes behind the closed doors. There is pain sometimes beyond the closed doors. And as a leader, you need someone to be able to speak to, and in all honesty and candidness, and not be judged or not be exploited. And so we will provide you with that utmost of confidentiality. My husband and I are on this line. We have dedicated counselors, pastors, leaders that are on this line. It's not just us. When you call, you can get any, depending on what you select. But the number is 855-737-2911, or you can just simply put Covenant, RESCUE 911.com. Covenant Rescue 911.com.
I'm writing it down too, because I want to repeat it. So if you all could type backstage, she said 855-737-2911. Okay, that's the hotline for you to be able to call Covenant Rescue 911. And again, it's 855-737-2911. And let me also, can somebody type that this is what it is? It's actually Covenant Rescue 911, that line. And we're going to pop that right on the screen. I want to make sure that that resource is provided to every marriage that is struggling across the world, across the globe. Make sure you reach out you can reach out anonymously, I suppose. I don't know.
It is anonymous. It is an anonymous line where you call, your number and everything doesn't come through. Your name doesn't come through or anything. It is a designated line so that you can have the freedom of getting that prayer, getting that support, whatever it is you need. We have also partnered with over
Wow.
60 Christian organizations, but over 200 organizations worldwide that are partnered with us and that are saying we want to be a part of this Rescue 911.
Wow.
We want to support your vision. If you want to support us, you can go right to the website and our For Covenant Rescue, and which is the same. If you do the 360, it'll come up. And then you can select Covenant Rescue. You can donate there. We are accepting donations because we are a nonprofit organization, but we're not doing state grants. We want this facility to be as available to. So we want all of the avenues and areas of which you can get support, such as we're going to have, live, massage therapists. We're going to have holistic medicine. We're going to have all of those things in a house, and we don't want to be restricted to what we can provide you, right? We'll have life coaches that will be part of our staffing. And so we don't want you to be slighted in any way, and we don't want to be limited. And so therefore, we're trying to do this. We're doing it God's way, which is the only way. And so it will take honest donations from you guys. It will take donations from people like you that just care about the sanctity of marriage and all that marriage is, to support us and to help us through this process. So we're very thankful and grateful. Again, you can definitely go to, to be able to donate and to support us throughout this process, because it's real. And we're looking to have this thing up and running sometime in 2022. We were believing God for miracles, signs, and wonders.
Yes. Yes. I'm believing God for miracle signs and wonders and everything that you're sharing. Now, do you also recommend that if a couple is struggling, that one of the people still call, or just like, do they call individually if they can't get their spouse to call?
Absolutely. We have a process by which we do invite the spouses at a later time, but if they're not willing, only God can change a man's heart.
That's
right?
right.
He can take that heart of stone and make it a heart of flesh, so that he can begin to move upon it, because God does not go against our will. My husband speaks about this all the time. We have a will, and he doesn't go beyond that.
That's
so right. If you're willing, God will make you able. And that's our motto.
Beautiful.
So if you're willing, God will make you able. So you come, you husband come, you wife come. We've had both, where husband have come and we had to invite the wife on a later session, and we've had it where the wife have come and we've had to invite the husband. But either way, get the help that you need, right? Because until you're healed, whole, free, and delivered, nobody else matters. You got to make sure that you're clear, that you're healed, and that you've gotten the help and support that you need. And we're here for you.
I love it. This is so inspiring. Listen, you all, I'm sure you have a notebook full of notes from Dr. Nephetina Serrano, MarriageCEOs360.com. I am super excited that you were on the show today, and I invite you to be one of our experts here on the Kim Jacobs Show. We have experts that are indifferent from all kinds of walks of life, and on Fridays we bring in what we call Freestyle Friday experts, and they pop on and they share like about 5 or 6 minutes worth of points. And please know that you are formally invited to be, and you and your husband, you or your husband, both of y'all, collaboratively, singly, whatever, you can be an expert on our Freestyle Fridays whenever you're available to pop in and make a few points here or there.
Thank you so much. This has been so awesome. I'm so thankful to God to be able to be here with you. The Kim Jacobs Show, you are the bomb.com. I appreciate you. We will support you forever. And I just thank you so much. And I'm humbled that you had me on your show today. Thank you.
Well, you can't imagine how humbled I am. And the information that you just dropped nugget after nugget after nugget after nugget in like an hour. And it's like, what? This is so much great stuff that's been shared. So you can only get better from wherever you are in your marriage if you've sat and heard some of this information today. So let's see your final closing comments. Let's see, massage therapy. What? You need me there, because she said she
All
does
right.
that now.
All
Okay,
right,
she's in Brooklyn. Where are you?
we're in Philadelphia. We're like in what, hour 45 minutes, 2 hours drive. Listen, what happened, honey?
Okay, grateful to have shared in this life lesson, Rose Slade said. And I'm looking forward to Rose and her husband being on the show in the near future regarding their son and her story being shared. It's a pretty amazing story as well. Okay, amazing discussion, Katrina said. And don't forget, please make sure you write this down, screenshot it. 855-737-2911, Covenant Rescue 911 is how you can call in anonymously to get some help to rescue your marriage. You heard it right here on the Kim Jacobs Show from the Marriage CEO, Dr. Nephetina Serrano. So finally, I would just say, what's like anything that you want to say is your closing comments, your thoughts that you're like, Kim, I really want to mention this one thing and I didn't get to say it on the show. Go ahead and say it.
You're so good.
You know, you're sitting there and you're like, I don't want to close the show and I didn't get to say this, right?
When you're on a show, you forget sometimes, you know, one of those things. We have you were talking about Your Marriage Matters. It's the Your Marriage Matters show we do live on Dominion Network Television. And so it's every Saturday at 10:30 on Dominion TV.
Every Saturday at 10:30, is it AM?
AM, 10:30 AM. Your Marriage Matters. Why? Because it does.
Okay, and where would they go to? I know you said Dominion TV, but where would they go?
They would go they can go right there and download the app, or they can go streaming live from my site, which is Nephetina Serrano.
Okay, so listen, every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can either go to Dominion TV and download the app, or you can actually go to Nefertina Serrano's Facebook page, because she goes live from there as well. Either or, Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and it's Your Marriage Matters. So you can type that, Your Marriage. Let me type that because I don't see anybody typing that. Your Marriage Matters every Saturday at 10:30. Let me see. I want to make sure, because I want to make sure before I end the broadcast I have that point up. Eastern Standard Time, right?
It is Eastern Standard Time.
Every Saturday, Eastern Standard Time on Dominion TV, or Nephetina. Neph. I don't have my glasses on, but it's okay. Nephetina Serrano.
And
live. Okay.
I did want to say also, Kim, that I think each one reach one, and we all have to support one another. And some of the venues that I support is African Women's Health Project International. I'm a part of that as a director here for the city of Philadelphia, of course, our city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. And then we also have GSFE, which is Robbie Matter. That's the Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs. It's important to collaborate, right, with one another. And so in this world that we're living in and during this time, collaboration is so awesome and so needed and so necessary. And so I'm very, very grateful to have been selected to be a part of these organizations and walk alongside of other great women as well.
Excellent. I am so proud to hear about both of those organizations and the fact that you are collaborating globally with your book, your anthology project, as well as with the organizations that you just expressed. So I am excited about everything that you're here presenting and sharing today. And I can't wait to get to know you even further as we go on a journey together as well, Dr. Nephetina. So again, thank you all. I hope I didn't miss any comments. I try to make sure that I give everybody a chance to be heard or get your comments up. Okay, so everyone, make sure that you all follow Dr. Nephetina Serrano. You can follow them and subscribe to everything they're doing right at marriageceos360.com. Thank you so much for being my guest today, and you were truly a great one.
Awesome.
All right, everyone. I'm going to close out this episode tomorrow. We have a serial entrepreneur that's going to be on, and she's going to be talking to us about all of the different business ventures that she has, as well as we have on Thursday another young man that's going to be talking about Peace for Poverty. Peace for Poverty, and it's a nonprofit that he has. And I'm so excited to have him on. And then on Friday, we have our Freestyle Friday experts that'll be popping in and sharing those tips that are life-changing, ranging from credit repair to health and wellness to marriage to all kinds of things. So make sure you tune in. Thank you so much for watching this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Dr. Nephetina.
You're welcome.
All right, everybody. Have a great one. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at